In this video, I'm going to walk through all the key features and functionality of the Garmin Approach S62. I'm going to show what it's like to use on the course, what it's like to use off the golf course, and some of the other key features and settings as well. Now, this isn't going to be my full review. If you're interested in that, then I've included a link. But this video is to give you an in-depth look as to how this watch actually works on the course. Now, if you are currently in the market to buy this watch, then I have included my affiliate links down in the description below, along with any discounts that I've currently got, so you can pick this watch up for less than recommended retail price. So let's start off with the golf features. So you can see there that to begin with, I tap the top button here, and then you select this option, Play Golf. Now, normally if I was out on the golf course, it will then locate the satellite, but because I'm indoors, that's not going to happen. So we're just going to skip that for now. And then it will bring up all of your local courses. Now, it will give you the option to keep score if you want to. So we'll say yes for now, and then choose the tees that you want. And there we go. We're on the first hole, and you can tell that because, first of all, you've got the little #1 there in the corner. And you can see that it's a par 4, and it gives you the yardages to the front, the middle and the back of the green. Now, interestingly as well, you've also got a secondary notification here. So you can see on the top that you've got that little red marker, and that rotates around the bezel there on the outside again. So you've got two places that it tells you which hole that you're on. A quick feature that not a lot of people know about is that you can quickly change what hole you're on by swiping up from the bottom of the screen and then moving your finger around the outside. Now, because this is the S62, it gives you a Backlight yardage. So if you tap the screen once, you can see that you get little symbols on the left-hand side. So what you can see here is that if you have a triangle symbol, then that means that it's playing uphill. And you can see when you tap it again, you've adjusted the yardage. So to the middle, normally it plays 301, but if you tap it again, then actually it's playing 305. You can see on the right-hand side that you get the full hole layout there, and you can even see some of the bunkers, and you'd see water and things like that. Now, if you actually tap on the map, then you can actually get your carry and to the front of the various hazards on that hole. So if you scroll through here, so you can see you've got a bunker and also layup yardages as well. So if you want a 100 yards layup, then you have to hit it 199 yards off this tee. Again, you've got other bunkers showing, and you can see that it gives you a little circle so you can see what hazard it is that you're actually talking about there. Now, if you tap it again, then you actually get a more zoomed in look at the hole. As you can see here though, it's not necessarily the most responsive system, but if you really want to, you can actually then select specific points of the course and you can get yardages, how long it takes to hit it where you want it, as well as how far you then have back to the green. To get out of that, you just press the back button here, which is that bottom one there. At the bottom of the watch here, you can see this little fellow holding the flag down here. So this is virtual caddy mode. Now, I can't show you at the moment because I'm using this in kind of a demo mode here at home. But what you can see here out on the course is that it actually factors in how far you hit each of your clubs, as well as the distance left to go, the slope, and I think even the actual wind direction and the amount of wind, and it will give you a suggestion as to what club you should hit. If you want to get a quick look at your actual watch face, then you press the back button there and it will take you to whatever watch face you've got set. And again, you just press it again to take you back to golf mode. Now, if you press this top button here, then you get a whole load of other options. So to begin with, you can see, you can view the green. So if it's got the detail, it will give you the rough shape of the green. And if you look closely, you can see the little dots on the front and the back. So that's where it's currently picking up the front and back yardages from. Now, as you move around the golf course, say for example, you were coming in from this side, then actually those dots will move and you'll have the front from here, not from here. What you can also do then is actually move the pin around. So if you really wanted to do that and you know that the pin's roughly at the back, then you can see here you're playing 312 to the back. If the pin's tucked right on the front, then actually you can see it's a 292. To be honest, personally, I don't really use that feature out on the golf course. But again, to get out of that, just press that back button. Going through the other features, you can also change the hole here manually. So if you don't like that swipe button, then you can up and down it there, move whatever hole you're on, and you press the tick to confirm. And then going back to the menu again, you also got your scorecard. So at the end of each hole, you get a few little inputs that you can add in. So that will help you track your scores and your stats. So for example, you have to confirm the number of putts that you took, as well as how you hit your approach shot and whether or not you took any penalties. Now, if you need to go back because you got it wrong, then you can select the scorecard mode and then you can go back and choose the hole. So for example, oh, I forgot to do it on hole 1. You can see here, I took 5 strokes on hole 1, I took 2 putts and I was left of the fairway and I didn't have any penalties. And then it will move you on to the next hole. You can also see here that you've got the pinpointer mode. So this one is really, really good feature, I think. So if you've misplaced a tee shot or an approach shot and you can't actually see where the green is, then what you've got is like a bit of a compass. So as you rotate it around the course, you can see that it moves there, telling you which way the middle of the green is, and also your distance to the middle of the green as well. So I think that's a really good feature if you're a pretty average golfer like me who's continuously blocked out and playing blind shots. If we scroll through the menu again, you can see here that you've got a wind feature. So if your watch is connected to your phone, then actually if it's linked up to the Garmin Connect app, then you can actually get some wind feature details as well, showing you which direction and how strong the wind is. Again, to be honest, it's not a feature that I've really used out on the golf course. You have some more details in here, so you've got round information, just giving you your total score so far, your out and your in. And then going back as well, you can actually track your last shot. Now, out on the golf course, this will do it automatically. There's little gyroscopic sensors in the watch that registers when you actually hit a shot. And then you'll get a little counter at the top as you move towards the ball, and it will automatically track it for you. But when you go into the menu, that can then disappear. So if you want to have a quick look at what your last shot was and it's not showing you at the top, you just press that button there. Going through the menu again, some more. You've also got club stat information. So if you've got this turned on, you can actually go through all the clubs in your bag, and from your watch, you can have a look at your stats. So for example there, you can see that my typical drive is 234, my maximum was 277 while using this watch. You've also got a few more bits there as well. So if you scroll down, you can even see that I've got a bit of a slice at the moment. Some call it a fade, I call it a slice. And you can see here that the majority of my shots there are going right. Got to love it when you double cross yourself and end up with that snap hook roughly a quarter of the time. Go back through the menu just to show you a few more options that you've got in here. Now you have got save location. To be honest, that's nothing that I've really used before, but you can specifically mark it on the watch so you've got it for next time. And if we go back again, scrolling down to the bottom, you also have sunrise and sunset. Again, not something that I've really used, but could be helpful if you need it. If you press the middle button on this watch, which we haven't done yet so far in this video, you get some slightly different menus. So if you want to lock your watch, then you can do that there, and then you've got to hold any key to unlock it. So that means you're not accidentally pushing any menus there. So you can see that's how that worked. And then you've also got a do not disturb mode for your notifications. You've got wallet, which I'll come on to a little bit later, and then you've got some watch settings as well. So you can choose various golf settings. You can choose to turn scoring on and off. Stat tracking you can turn on and off as well. So what that means is after you hit every shot, it will ask you to select what club it was that you hit. Now it will ask you to do that if you haven't got the additional CT10 tags attached to each one of your clubs. Personally, I like having that mode set on because I think it does provide some helpful information which you can then access in the Garmin Golf app once you've finished your round and synced your watch with your phone. You can also change your scoring methods. You can change it from stroke play to Stableford if you wish. And virtual caddy, let's have a look here. If you select into it there, you can turn it on manual or automatic mode. And let's just go back. Handicap scoring, so if you want to, you can put in your handicap, you can register the slope and index and it will give you handicap scores as well. And you can also select how far roughly your driver goes, so that helps it with that auto caddy mode. And if you want to put it in tournament mode, then you just select that button there. And that means you can see here, it disables plays light mode, pinpointer, green zoom, and virtual caddy. Just turn that back off before I forget. And if you don't necessarily like the layout of the screen, then you can turn on big numbers mode. And if I go back here, you can see the difference that makes. There you go. Literally does what it says on the tin. You just get ginormous numbers. You know what? I've never really used this mode actually on the course. So let's have a look how it works. So if you tap the screen, well, you get the slope mode on and off. That doesn't really do anything. Nothing slopes left or right. Okay, you tap that there and it gives you a bigger number as to what hole you're on. And let's see what else we've got. Let's have a look. Yeah, you actually have to press the button then, and then you can get hazards and layups, and you go back to the same screen that we saw before. While we're here, I'll show you some of the other settings as well for the watch. So you can see if you select watch face, then you've got various ones to choose from. All you do is swipe up with it there instead. You can see you've got a number of different watch faces. So you can just choose whichever one you prefer in terms of the style. Personally, I quite like having it as quite a normal looking analog watch, so that one there. You've also got sensors and accessory options. So you can, first of all, as I mentioned before, add club sensors. That's the Garmin CT10 tag, so you can set that up with your watch. You You can turn on and off the heart rate sensor. You've got a compass in it as well, so if you need to calibrate it, you can. Now, if you want additional information on the greens, then you can actually pay an additional subscription, which will give you the contours of the greens, so long as they've got it for your course. Now, that's going to set you back an additional £90 per year here in the UK, or $8.99 a month. To be honest, I think that's a little bit cheeky that you have to spend that additional money, because I know that there are other watches on the market that actually provide that information for free. Now, you do get other stuff with that additional subscription from Garmin, but you might not be able to make use of it if you've only got the S62 watch. So, one for you to consider. When you get to the end of your round, what you can do is you can choose whether you want to save it. You can edit the details of the score if you wish to. You can discard it, or you can pause it if you're going to come back later. Now, for this one here, I'm just going to discard it because I don't need it. But one other thing that I did just want to show you as well is if you go to an additional option down here, so some of your additional activities, you've also got a swing tempo mode. So what you do is you select how fast your swing speed is. So you can see here you've got various ones. So you've got amateur slow, amateur medium, amateur fast, pro slow, pro medium, and pro fast. So I'd probably call myself around an amateur fast. And you've got a few other options. So you can turn vibration on and off of this watch. And what you can do is then once you've selected that, then you can see here that you actually swing, and it will give you an idea of how quick you should do your backswing, pause, and then do your downswing as well. And it'll let you know whether you've done it too fast, too slow. Now, I use this down the range a little bit, but personally, it's not a feature that I was particularly interested in. Let's just quickly talk about the build quality of the watch. So what you've got here is a 1.3 colour touchscreen. And as I said before, you've got these 3 buttons on the side that do feel quite nice quality. They've got a good click to them. You can probably hear that there. And with the combination of 3 buttons as well as the touchscreen, it's pretty simple and straightforward to use. What you've got on the outside here is a ceramic bezel. So compared to the S42, which has got a metallic bezel, ceramic is supposed to be a little bit more scratch resistant, and it looks quite nice and gives a nice effect to the watch, I think. In terms of battery life, Garmin say you've got up to 14 days in smartwatch mode and 20 hours in GPS mode. Now for me, that's meant that I've been roughly able to get around 3 rounds of golf with this watch. But it really depends upon what settings you have on, how much you use GPS mode, what activities you're tracking, as well as how bright you have the screen set. So actually, if I just go to the settings now to show you, if we go into System and Backlight, if you select that, and you can see here you've got brightness. So I've actually got this at 80% brightness mode. So just to give you an indication here, it goes all the way down to 0. It gets pretty dark, not particularly usable. And you keep going up in 10% increments. You can go all the way up to 100%. That's pretty bright. It's not too bad. If I compare that against my iWatch, which I've got right here, if I just unlock that. There we go. You can see here, well, to be honest, the Apple Watch has still got much more kind of colour and sharpness to that screen. Let's turn that back up. There we go. You can see there on 100%, the Apple Watch still significantly brighter, but the S42 is certainly bright enough. Another setting that I've changed in terms of the backlight is this gesture one. So what you can do here is turn it gesture always on, only during activity, or off. Now what that means is if you have it off, then the only way that the backlight comes on is when you press a button or tap the screen. With gesture on, when you actually move your wrist and you look at it, that will turn the backlight on. Personally, I think that's a feature that I always want turned on with my watch. It really bugs me when I have to press a button so I can actually tell what the time is. There we go, you can see that the backlight's gone off. If that was the middle of the night, I'm not going to be able to see that without pressing the button to turn it on. What you also get is a silicone strap here. It's pretty nice quality. It's not the thickest in the world, but certainly does the job, and it's thicker than the S42 watch. And you can see as well that you've got these quick release modes here. So all you need to do is just pull on the little tab. It says trying to do this on camera with one hand. And there you go, look at that. It's snapped off really, really quick. And you can get different color and different style straps if you want them. So let me just see if I can put that back on there. There we go, just literally snaps back into place. You can see on the back here, you've also got this proprietary USB charging. So it's a USB-A port on the other side. And on the back as well, you've also got your sensors for your heart rate and your blood oxygen levels. The watch itself is pretty thick, But if I just quickly pop it on my wrist now, I've got pretty skinny wrists and, you know, it does stick up at a fair way, but it doesn't really affect me out on the golf course. Don't have any problems with that. And you can see here, I've actually got plenty of notches left to go. So now I want to take you through the non-golf features. So what you do is touch that little button down the bottom there, and you've got all the different activities here. So for example, you can do walking, running, and actually you've got other ones that I've got in here. So indoor bike, paddle boarding, I think that is, strength training, stair stepper, cardio. You've got some other features in here as well, so stuff that you'd expect to find on a smartwatch, so I'll skip past them there. So you've got things like alarm clock mode, timer mode, stopwatch mode, so we'll just go into that. It's pretty simple kind of stuff there, really. And you've also got a mode there, so if you want to, you can find your phone. It will give your phone a little buzz. In fact, the Garmin Connect app has just popped up on my phone now, and it's finding it, so sorry if that vibrated the screen. Let me say, yes, I found it. But what you can do is edit this menu. So if you press the edit button there, you can see here that I can remove or move all the ones that I've currently got in this drop-down menu. But what I've also got are tons of other activities that you can add. So you can see here you've got bike, elliptical, indoor track, pool swim, rowing, rowing indoors, skiing, snowboarding, treadmill, walking indoors, XC ski, and yoga. So you can add all of those elements as well, and then you can track them using the GPS mode, and it'll also track your heart rate and things like that. Now, if we just go into running mode, just to take a quick look at that, because that's probably what a lot of people will use this for as well. There you go. You can see that it's got GPS, it's tracking my heart rate, and it's ready to go. If we just go down the settings here, you can kind of see it's giving you various options in terms of what the screens look like and your layouts. If you press the back button, you can sort out your alerts if you want to add an alert in there. Your laps if you want to lap it, so it's giving you auto laps at 1 mile, but you can manually press a button if you want. Auto pause, auto scroll, GPS is on, and you can select your background and your accent colors as well. That's pretty much it. So all you do to start, just press that button on there, and you can see it started. Press it again, and it stops it. Now I can't work out how to get back. Let's have a look here, see if I can get back. Keep scrolling. All you do to get out of it then is scroll across to the right and select done. You can choose to save or discard it. So we're going to discard that. Yes, please. There we go. So to get to the other features of this watch, what you do is actually scroll up from the clock face. Well, you can scroll down or up. It's totally up to you, and that will take you to either end of the menu. And what these are called are widgets. So you've got here at the moment, you've got weather. This is a little bit temperamental for me. For some reason, it doesn't really like to show that weather data all the time. It connects from your watch to your phone, and that's how you get the weather information. To be honest, I don't really need it really, so I'm not that bothered about it. You've got notifications there, so details of my notifications from my phone. You've got here, you've got your calendar, so you can have a little look at your things. There we go. So you can see I've got a tour of a school for my son tomorrow at 10 o'clock, so that's handy that it's in there. You've got your sunrise and sunset details there. You've got your heart rate information, so if you click into that there, you can see for some reason it thinks that my heart rate currently is 73. You can see that I'm not wearing a watch, but that's what that green sensor is about, to try and pick that up. And it gives you information as to what your heart rate has been doing, and you scroll down and it gives you what's happened on a day-to-day basis for the last 7 days. I haven't been wearing this watch for the last 7 days, so that's why none of that information is populated there. If you go back, you've also got step counter if you want it. You've got your handicap details. You can see here my handicap is very much trending up. It says I'm a 21, but I haven't really recorded the details properly in this watch when I've been using it, so I'm currently a 19 handicap. But you can see here that it's giving me some information on my driver accuracy, my approach shots, great, only hit the green 25% of the time, well 28% of the time. My greening regulations, and that's pretty much it from that screen there. If we go back again, you can see here that it gives you your last score at your last round. You can click into it if you want and have a little look there. So I did a little 9 holes there at Worley Park. And the next widget here along the line is your pulse oxygen meter. So you can hold it down and it will tell you your O2 levels in your blood. That's what I think the red one is going. There you go, it just kind of kicked in there. And what you do is you just hold it down on your arm there and it will check and let you know what your details are for your blood oxygen level. Don't think there's anything to scroll on there. No. Now, because I'm not wearing the watch, you've also got a couple of other features here which are measuring. So these are in terms of, I think, like your relaxation levels, as well as your stress levels and your body battery. So actually the body battery one's quite interesting. So it takes a note of your heart rate, your exercise, and can also track your sleep as well if you if you wear this watch during the night time, and it will give you an idea of actually how your body is functioning and whether or not you should be resting or going for a run or all those kind of things. To be honest, it's not something that I've really used all that much. You do get a lot more information when you look at the actual phone app itself, but to be honest, as I say, it's not really for me. And then lastly, on the bottom here, we've got a widget for music control. So if I was playing some music there, you press that widget and you can start, skip and pause the music that you've got playing on your phone. And you can also change the volume if you scroll down and up. One little kind of annoyance for me with that one is that when you're playing music on your phone, that setting doesn't automatically pop up. You have to go to that widget, select it, and then you can control the details. For me, personally, I'd rather it pop up. Now, actually, interesting, this is something really, really key for me. So what's just popped up there on my phone is a notification. So I've got a text message here from my iPhone to the watch. Now that's fine, but the thing is with the notifications, you don't really get a whole lot of choice and tailor customization if you use an Apple iPhone. What you get basically is all of your notifications or none of your notifications. I think if you go into the settings here, let's see if we can find them. Phone connected, notifications and alerts. So you call it smart notifications, but smart notifications, you just get to choose whether or not they show during activity or not during activity. You don't get to tailor what you see and what you don't see. So for example, you can't say, I only want to see my text messages and my phone calls. I don't want to see my Twitter alerts or something like that. Now you get more customization if you use an Android phone, but with an Apple phone, you've got to basically set up a custom profile and you can tailor that using your Apple settings, not your Garmin settings. So that's a little bit frustrating. One last feature to show you, if you press that middle button there, I mentioned it before, you've got the wallet mode. Now, if your bank is compatible with Garmin's Wallet Connect app thing, sorry, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, Garmin Contactless maybe, then what it means is that you can use your watch to pay for goods like you would a contactless card. However, here in the UK, it's not exactly the best feature in the world because, well, basically the vast majority of the mainstream banks aren't compatible with that feature. So just to give you a list, Garmin Contactless doesn't currently work in the UK with NatWest, HSBC, Nationwide, Halifax, Barclays or Lloyds. Pretty much the only mainstream one that I could see that it did work with was Santander. I think the connectivity with that in the US and other countries is much better, but here in the UK, not really much joy if you use any one of those banks that I mentioned. So there you go, that is my full in-depth look at how this watch actually works and functions both on and off the golf course. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit that like button, and it'd be really great if you could hit that subscribe button too if you want to keep up to date with all my latest reviews and videos. And if you want to check out my full review of the Garmin Approach S62, then you can watch this video right here and I'll let you know exactly what I think of this golf watch.